So I want to run through some of these fractional powers, and they're a bit of a pain. So we're going to say the first one, 8 to the 1/3. Think about it, if you kind of got rid of the 1/3, it just looks like 8 to the power of 1, right? So it really is 8 to the power of 1, and then we do something else with it. That over 3 says take the cube root. So the top part is the power, and the bottom part, think of it as being the root part. So it's going to be 8 to the 1, but then we're going to take the cube root. So that 3 jumps over to there. And if it was a 2, it would be the square root, 4 would be the 4th root, whichever. Okay? We know 8 to the power of 1 is just 8. Anything to the power of 8 is just, it stays the same, right? And the cube root of 8 is 2. Now, how are you going to do that? You could use your calculator, you could use Excel, whatever you want to do. If I was going to use Excel, I'm going to, bring in an Excel spreadsheet over here. I'd probably just do it from here. 8 to the power of 1/3, so little hat. Sorry, I need an equal sign because it's calculation equals 8, little hat, and then I'm going to use brackets. Brackets 1 divided by 3, close the bracket, enter, and I still get 2. All right. In fact, you can do from the original question, you can get a final answer. That's a nice way to do it, and then you can check your answer. Okay. I don't think this has a cube root button on it or not, and so I just use, instead of cube roots, I use the fractional ones. So let's try the next one here. Number 2, 49 to the 1/2. 49 to the 1/2 is like 49 to the 1, where people get so lazy we're going to leave the 1 off, and then we're going to take the square root of that. And I think you know the square root of 49 is 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. Number 3, this one gets a little trickier now. We got a 1/4 to the 1/2, all right? So the 1/2, you can treat the top and bottom separately, and they get the same thing applied to them. So it's like 1 to the 1/2, or the square root of 1, over the square root of 4. All right, it's like 1 to the 1 and 4 to the 1. The 1 stays there, and the 2 says take the square root of it. So we're going to take the square root of 1 over the square root of 4. We're lucky with 1s because they don't really do anything. If you square them or square root them or times them by themselves, which is squaring or cubing, they always stay as 1. So it's still 1 over 2. Let's try the next one. You're looking a little harder. 8 over 27 to the 1/3. And you need to keep the brackets in there, okay? Otherwise it looks like it's just the 8 gets to the power of 1/3. The brackets means the top and the bottom get the power of 1/3. So again, it's like 8 to the 1 over 27 to the 1, but we're too lazy. I probably wouldn't even write the 1 anymore. And then I'm going to take the cube root of the top one and the cube root of the bottom one. Cube root of 8 is 2. We've already done that. And the cube root of 27, what multiplied by itself 3 times is 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27, so we get to 2/3. Or you can use your calculator if you want to double check, and that's a nice thing to do. So let's grab my calculator again, and let's do the original question. So I'm going to say equals 8 over 27, so I'm going to put that in brackets. Brackets 8 divided by 27, close the bracket, to the power of, so that's the shift 6, and then I use brackets for the other fraction. Bracket 1 divided by 3, close the bracket. And I hit enter, and it gives me this horrible looking decimal, 0.6666667. Is my final answer the same? Is 2/3 the same as that? So I could do in here, double check my final answer equals 2 divided by 3. And if it's the same, well then I know I got the right answer. I started here and ended up there. This looks a lot more simplified. So we can go from there. If we go to the next one, minimize this one. What is it? 1/16 to the negative 1/2. 1 over 16 to the negative 1 over 2. Okay, so what really bugs me on this one is that negative sign is really going to mess me up. So I think I'm going to deal with it first. Remember, the negative sign means whatever's in here should be flipped upside down. So if it was 16 over 1, it becomes 1 over 16. Or if it's 1 over 16, it becomes 16 over 1. And then the rest of the exponent stays as it is. 16 over 1 and 1 over 16 are the same thing, so you could even think about it just being, forget that over 1, just as 16, make your life easy. So then we know the next one is, it's like 16 to the 1, there's the power. Take the square root, 16 to the 1 is just 16, square root of 16 is 4. And one more here, 1 to the 1/2 plus 1 to the 3rd. 1 to the 1/2 plus 1 to the 3rd. They're just trying to show you how crazy the number 1 is, because the first one says that's the square root of 1. Plus the next one says it's the cube root of 1. The 2 is hiding here. We're too lazy to put the 2 usually, that's why we call it just square root. And the cube root of 1, square root of 1 is 1, cube root of 1 is 1, so we just answer 2. And again, you could do it on your calculator or your spreadsheet, Better yet, because you got your spreadsheet on your computer all the time. Oop, I lost it. Get back there. There it is. So it's 1 to the half, so I can say equals 1 to the power of bracket 1 over 2, close the bracket, plus 1 to the power of bracket 1 over 3, close the bracket, and I still get 2. Alright, so we can kind of work my way through. So I like doing that and checking my work with a spreadsheet.